Okay, so I'm excited to share with you my very secret and very simple settings on how to shoot amazing epic sunset portraits with off-camera flash. I do shoot with the Canon 5D Mark III. I've got the 24-70 lens on the camera, and I've also got the 600 EXRT flash gun that we're going to be using for this demonstration. I tend to shoot in aperture priority mode, so here's the secret settings that you need to dial in, or should I say the simple settings. So first of all, aperture priority. Turn your aperture up to f8 or f9. I'm in 100 ISO, and then use your exposure compensation to turn that right down. And that's it. Okay, so normally what I do is if I have an assistant, they tend to hold the flash, or if I don't, I get a wedding guest to hold the flash. One of the guys behind the scenes here today in the filming team is going to hold that for me so that we can shoot exactly what that shot's going to look like when we take it right now. Okay, so it's important to get down low when you're shooting these shots, because it adds a little bit of drama actually to the image. So I know some people lie in their front or lie on their side. It's probably not the best look that you're going to have at the wedding day, but it's kind of essential to get a really cool looking editorial image. Sometimes if you bring a reflector to a wedding with you, you can always lie down on the reflector as well, and at least that saves you from getting your suit dirty. Okay, and here you see we have Tony as our voice activated light stand, and sometimes it's great to have, you know, a guest or your second shooter holding the light. Obviously you can put it in the stand as well and just use the little fitting to fit on the bottom of your flash. The key thing to be careful about though if you're doing that is you probably need a sandbag or something that's going to ensure that your stand doesn't actually blow over in the wind. So, I mean, the cool thing about this technique is that once you've dialed in the settings, it's really foolproof. I mean, the only thing really that you need to think about changing is possibly bumping your ISO up if it is getting a little bit darker. Or if you're at sort of f8 or f9, you may want to increase that as well for a more kind of dramatic image. Also, you may want to turn your flash up a little bit also, but generally speaking, when you dial these settings into your camera, you're good to go. The shot you're going to get from that is just going to be incredible. I wanted to share with you some things to consider when you're editing these off-camera flash shots in Lightroom or whatever your choice of program is. I'm currently in Lightroom. I've edited these down to 3 images that I really like, and I'm going to go in and show you how I would tend to edit these. In regards to this one, it's a little bit dark, so first of all let's raise the exposure level, make that a little bit brighter. Also, you know, be careful when you're shooting with these to make sure that your horizon is straight as well. Just going to work off the wall there. Perfect. One thing that you will notice when you start shooting at f8, f9, and you know, around about that and upwards, you'll notice that you start picking up these little dust spots here on your lens. So I'm going to go in here and just really quickly remove that. Obviously, if you've just had your camera, your sensor cleaned, it's going to be perfect. But I know previously, where I've shot all summer with the same camera, at the end of the summer it can get super dusty. So sometimes you find yourself going in and removing those things. You know, normally what I would tend to do is maybe, I don't mind the rest of the stuff in here in the cityscape, but possibly would remove this pole right here. So again, it's just a case really of going into Photoshop and spending a little bit of time to clone that out and remove it. I think, you know, it would be a nicer image. Also, you know, this probably isn't the nicest thing. So you could consider again either cloning that out or, you know, making the decision to actually crop that out of your image mostly. So some things to think about there. Moving forward, we look at this image again. This one is exposed okay. It's not super dark or anything. Again, I'm just going to go in here and remove that little spot right there. Cool, I've done that. We'll do our straightening again. It looks pretty fine. So I wanted to show you guys how to really kind of maximize how the sky looks by using this tool over here. So if you grab your brush, okay, and you have all these sliders here which you're able to basically brush into your image. So one of the things that for example that I might want to do is really use this saturation slider and max that out. So it gives you a little brush like this, and then you can go and actually paint in
some of those colors into the sunset, which can look really, really nice. I mean, if you want to go even more with that, you could do the whole sky as well, and it's just going to give it a kind of very kind of nice blue kind of color. To be honest with you, a lot of times you actually don't need to do this at all. It's like totally fine, because some of the colors and things that you'll get in them will be super dramatic anyways, so it's not really required. And obviously you can pull that back as well, you know, if you've went a little bit crazy like I think I just did right now. You can definitely pull that slider back, but it just gives a little bit of pop to the image. Again, I probably would remove this, and I would remove this. Again, just jump into Photoshop, clone that out, and Bob's your uncle. Okay, so moving on to our final image that I'm going to show you. Again, you can see that this one is pretty slanted, and let's first of all let's straighten that up as the first kind of thing to do. So let's do that. Then I want to remove, definitely remove some of these things over here. So I'm just going to open up Photoshop, and I'll take that into Photoshop, and I'll remove these items so I can show you exactly how I would tend to do that. Okay, great. So typically, obviously, you've got the patch tool over here, which is great. You can use that, and it's pretty simple. You know, it takes just a second really to go in and remove these things. And finally, let's get rid of this little thing at the bottom. Perfecto, cool. These are kind of landmarks, so I'm kind of to the mind to leave those in the image at the moment. So I'm not going to bother with those right now.